In this video, I am going to show you guys how to isolate. Now, some of my students, they have a hard time isolating, especially in the beginning. It can be very daunting to have to look at a full set of lashes here and figure out, okay, which lash am I going for? It gets very overwhelming. You just see all sorts of hairs. You don't know, which way that your vision should be going. So I'm going to try to give you some pointers of how to hold your hands, how to hold your tweezers, and where to look that can help you to be better at isolating. So I'm going to turn to the camera here and I'm going to show you guys from the side just really quickly what it looks like from the side when you're isolating. So for instance, if I just grab this lash really quick right here, I'm going to show you guys where my anchor points are. So I have an anchor point right here, and this bottom part of the tweezer is touching my client's face. So this will be touching the eye patch that's underneath her. And it's just resting there, okay? I'm not pressing and digging into her skin because that's going to push the eye pad down, and then we can start sticking our top and bottom lashes together. And not only that, but it can be painful for the client if you are resting all of your weight into this point right here. So this is just a resting point. The next point I have is right here. Around here, this is going to be resting on her eyelid, okay? And that's okay if this tweezer is touching her eyelid. It should just be resting again on her eyelid. Do not be putting so much pressure that you're pushing her eyeball like back into her head. The next anchor point we have is going to be right here in our thumb. So our thumb is going to be resting on our client's head, and these fingers back here are going to be resting here on her forehead. So these are resting here on her forehead, this is resting on her forehead, and then I am putting my anchor point here, and I'm putting my anchor point here. So that's just what it looks like from the side, how you should be holding your hands. So your hands are going to be touching your client's face, right? So now I'm going to turn her this way so that we can see from this view what it looks like to isolate from this view. So when you're isolating from this view, again, I turn my tweezer upside down so that I can use it as an additional isolation tweezer for me. Okay, when you're isolating this way, what you're going to do is you're going to want to look at the bases, okay? So look at the bases of the eyelashes. Don't look at the tops of the eyelashes, because a lot of people, they look at the top and that gets a little confusing. So look at the bases of the eyelashes and just start pulling out the lashes that you want to isolate. So look at the bases, find the one that you want. You can use your dominant hand tweezer to kind of help you get some lashes out of the way. And just isolate, and then you'll place your lash. And then you'll come over here, you isolate, and you'll place your lash. Come over here, we'll get this one out. And we'll place our lash. Sometimes that happens too when you open the I call it the little curtain here because it kind of feels like you're opening a curtain. When you open the lash line up like that, sometimes you'll get like one lash fully isolated and then you'll have another one fully isolated. I like to call those like little bonuses because it makes my job easy. I just put a lash here, and then I put a lash here, and then I close it, come back over here and isolate it here as well. And that's just how, you can isolate. Now, it's going to take time for you to practice this, so you won't be perfect at it in the beginning, but it's a lot of just keeping your hand steady, resting your tweezers in the right place, making sure that your hand is not hovering. A lot of my my students, they like to hover their hands. You need to have a resting point. You need to have an anchor point, or else your hand's going to get very tired and your hands are going to be shaking.